Hello. Sorry to interrupt class, but you've been called to the office. Yes, you. Now come on, follow me. We wouldn't want to disrupt your class anymore now, would we? Why have you been called to the office? Well, I believe you have a visitor, although I'm not too sure exactly who she is. Yes, there were these big burly men guarding her, so I barely saw her. She was quite pretty, though, from what I could see, with jewels on her neck that probably cost a fortune. Oh, what I would do to just have one. Oh, yeah, yes, she had guards with her. They were good looking as well, if someone like me is objected to an opinion. If only I were a few years younger. They were quite tall and... Oh, that's right, we're already at the office. I'm sure you wouldn't want to hear an old lady ramble anymore, so... Go, have fun with your pretty visitor. Well, don't just stand at the door. Sit down. You and I have something to speak about. Who am I? Maybe if you sit down and lend me your ear, we could figure that out together. Believe me, I have no ill intentions. I just wish to inform you of some news. Do you know who Tobias Hawthorne is? It seems you are someone who is well informed, though it would be even stranger if you didn't know him. Yes, Tobias Hawthorne, the billionaire. How did you know him? And just know I do not stand for lies of any sort. You're asking me how a high schooler like you would know a billionaire? I have the exact same question. Now, if you won't say anything, that is your own choice. But just know that you have been requested to attend the will reading of Tobias Hawthorne. It is stated that the will reading will not commence unless you are present. I'm just as confused as you are, believe me. But that is a matter that can be sorted some other time. You are required to fly to Texas in 3 days, where the will reading will take place at Hawthorne House. Don't worry, of course. We will cover the expenses. All you have to do is be there. Who is we? Well, of course, I'm referring to the Hawthorne family. I haven't introduced myself. I am KIYOKO Hawthorne. Nice to meet you. I'm one of Tobias Hawthorne's granddaughters. Although I believe we won't need to get to know each other on a personal level, I will personally see to your comfort during your time with the Hawthorne family. My bodyguard, Oren, will come to pick you up in 3 days' time. It will be a pleasure to see you then. Kid, I think you can get back to class.
Who is that? Why is he dressed in all black?
I have no idea, but he sure is good looking.
I'm here to pick you up. Do you have your things packed? Great. The car is right this way. Are you comfortable, kid? Then we'll be off. If you don't mind me asking, why did you agree to this? You seem like a smart kid, not the type to go cross country with strangers for a will reading for someone you claim to not even know. You need whatever money you can get, huh? That isn't all bad. You know, I'd say you're smarter because of that kind of answer. Yet, you should be careful of that thing called money. It changes people. The lack of it, or having too much of it. Honestly, there might not be a right amount to have, but no matter what, people always want more. Am I talking about Miss Kyoko? Well, I believe this could apply to the entire Hawthorne family. I believe Miss Kyoko is definitely one of the better members of the family. She's grown up with the world at her fingertips, yet she doesn't misuse that power. Mr. Tobias taught her well. Maybe that's why she's so distraught with his disappearance. Interesting question. But I believe Miss Kyoko has always been straightforward. She does not believe in wasting her time on things that won't turn a profit. A real business lover, that girl. That is why she is often mentioned as the heir apparent. Yes, the heir apparent. I guess it's odd for a girl that young to be called that. But Miss Kyoko has done nothing but prove herself worthy of the title. Please, keep in mind that these are the type of people you will be dealing with at the Hawthorne house. Good. Now get some sleep. You're going to need it. Kid. Hey, kid. Rise and shine. You are now at the Hawthorne family airport. Hey, don't ask me. I wasn't the one who decided to buy it. I guess when you're that rich, you have to find ways to spend that money. Now, come on. Let's get going. What, have you never seen a private jet before? Come on, get in. Take a seat. Would you like any drinks? There really wouldn't be much for you, considering you're still a minor. But hey, there should be a decent assortment of juices. Got it. Sylvia, did you hear the kid's order? Get in here, please. What's that in your hands? A magazine, huh? Oh, that's when I escorted Miss Kyoko to Paris. That place had so much paparazzi, despite the extra men I brought with. It was almost too much to handle. She lives in a different world. I understand why you think that, but please understand. Just because her name and face are attached to such a prestigious background doesn't make her any less of a person. She's faced suffering just as any normal person would. Of course I care for her. I do work for the Hawthorne family, after all. Great. Thank you, Miss Sylvia. You better get some rest. The flight isn't too long, but staring at my face the entire time would be tiring, don't you think? Get some sleep. Yes, the kid made it here safely. He's quite a heavy sleeper, so I kinda just carried him to the car. What's he like? He's smart, that's for sure. You can see it in his eyes. You know, he reminds me of Mr. Tobias. Do you think that's why? Yes, ma'am. I won't make baseless speculation. Oh, you're finally awake. Who's that? Just another one of my employers. And how could you know that? Yes, Sky Hawthorne is Miss Kyoko's mother. She can be overbearing, so I would recommend staying out of her way. The other Hawthorne granddaughter? Well, she certainly is eccentric to say the least. You'll see her at the will reading, though she has a tendency to disappear at a moment's notice. You'll glance in her direction and the next she'll be gone. Such a wild card, that one. Ah, there it is. We're coming up on the one and only Hawthorne house. If you look to your right, I believe you'll be able to start seeing the estate. Well, yes. Of course the forest is part of the estate. Well, you know, he was a billionaire. He may have just been looking for ways to spend his money.
Is that the guy?
Yep. Interesting, isn't it?
He doesn't look like Mr. Tobias in the slightest.
Watch your mouth. Miss Sky will have your throat if you mention the possibility of him being related to them. I'll go on in now. Let's go. Remember everything we've spoken about, and remember to smile.
Oh, look who's here. I assume your trip here was comfortable. The Hawthorne family does pride themselves on the luxuries they are able to provide, so I hope you were satisfied. Too much? Well, I believe that depends on the individual. Would you have rather traveled here in economy class? Good answer. We must get going. The will reading will begin in a bit. We were all just waiting for you. You know, the rest of the family is quite curious about you. I can't say that I'm not either, but oh well. Let's get going. Oren, stay close, please. Is that him? He doesn't look bad per se, but nothing like Tobias. How did he know him? It's his funeral, and all people are talking about is why you are in his will rather than them. Sad, really. And all their comments. You do realize what they are trying to figure out, right? You're clever. I like that. But yes, you are correct. Why would my grandfather give you his fortune? The easiest answer would be relation. Yet with your features, it is quite clear you aren't family. So, why else would he leave you any part of his fortune? Hello, everyone. I will be conducting the will reading of Tobias Tattersall Hawthorne, a man we all loved and cared for.
Firstly, we will take care of all his attendants. If you serve Tobias faithfully, please follow my associate to this room, where your inheritance will be read out separately. And now, for those who do not count themselves among his employed, I will now read your part of the will. To my daughters, I leave all the money needed to pay off your debts. I also leave to Sky my compass, and to Zara my wedding ring. Lastly, I leave a one-time inheritance of $50,000.
Is that it? This is certainly getting interesting. You're correct. To someone like my grandfather, a sum of 50,000 is so insignificant you can barely call it pocket change.
Now, if I may continue. To my granddaughters, I leave an inheritance of $250,000 each, which they will receive on their 25th birthdays.
That is all he left them? Really? He hardly left them anything considering his fortune.
Silence. Let me continue. Everything else, including all properties unless specified, and all monetary possessions and assets, I leave to the young man required to be here for the reading.
What? There's no way.
This is preposterous.
We don't even know who this man is. It appears that you and I will have a lot more time to get to know one another. You better prepare yourselves for the amount of questions I have.